Things are about to get real interesting. Did you hear the National Guard's been deployed? They're expecting things to get a bit crazy. Gonna tell you the states that's rolling out reinforcements right now, and you won't believe this, it's already happening. We've already got states that are starting to ban the CVID vax. Kind of knew that was coming. I'll be telling you what state's leading the parade on that. And another thing that's on everyone's mind, what's gonna happen with this election. I've got some information that's gonna help you track and get an idea if this state goes this way, this state goes that way, which way it's gonna lean and how it's gonna turn out. Also got a few things that you guys might wanna know about, which is gonna hinder the results. So much crazy information you guys should know today, coming right up. My name is Cohen here at Riverside Homestead, and if you're brand new here, welcome. If you guys are into prepping tips, emergency preparedness, and most of all, news and awareness, stuff that you want to know about, be sure to hit that notification bell so you guys can stay up to date. Let's jump into this one. As a lot of people that tune in here know, I get around for work. Guess what city, what metropolitan city I am in? I'll let you know through about halfway of the video. So first, let's jump into some of this crazy information that some of you guys have sent me and has really gotten my attention. First of all, we got the elections coming up. It's on everyone's mind. Kamala, Trump, things are gonna get real interesting. Even more interesting is the troops that they're starting to bring into some areas. Check this out. National Guard troops on standby in Washington State, Oregon, and Nevada as precaution for potential election unrest. We kind of saw that coming, right? Like I said, gonna get probably pretty real. Here in this photo, you can see Washington National Guard personnel walking on the Washington State Capitol campus on January 20th of 2021. Ahead of potential civil unrest due to Tuesday's presidential election, the National Guard is on standby as a precaution in several states, including Washington State, Oregon, and where hundreds of ballots were damaged or destroyed. Have you guys seen that? I'm gonna show you a little bit of what's going on. Destroyed after at least 3 ballot drop boxes were recently set afire, officials say.
We begin tonight at 5 with new problems piling up for local election officials after a series of fires at drop boxes in Oregon and in our state. Police believe the suspect is a metal worker now, and he may be planning more attacks. Now, we're going to give you a closer look at the damage. Clark County officials now revealing around 475 were burned in the Vancouver fire. 3 were damaged in Portland. Now, the Associated Press is reporting that devices that burned those ballots carried, quote, free Gaza messages.
Now, in eastern Washington, between 200 and 300 ballots, they are missing in Whitman County. The clerk says they never made it to voters.
Did you hear about this? Hundreds of ballots destroyed in Washington State and Oregon after police say ballot boxes were intentionally set on fire. These fires happened near the Washington-Oregon border, and officials believe the incidents are connected. Now, both states working together to track down those responsible.
We don't know the motive behind these acts, but we do know that acts like this are targeted and they're intentional. We're dedicated to stopping that kind of behavior, and we're working toward that today.
We're working with our partners across the river here in Portland and sharing information with our federal law enforcement partners in hopes of bringing this to a successful conclusion.
The 2 arson incidents are also believed to be connected to a 3rd ballot box incident from earlier this month, also in Washington.
That's not all. Just the other day's video, if you missed that, I showed where people can go online and pick who they want. It ain't working like that. It picks someone, just not who you want. You guys missed that, you might want to watch that clip I played in that video. And we've also got all this crazy stuff going on, and we've also got crazy stuff going on all over the place. Breaking, they turned the lights off on voters is what this post says. Power blackout. Voters in Levittown, Pennsylvania forced to vote using cell phone flashlights. That's not just it. Also in Pennsylvania, voters being told to just fill out their registration ballots and hand it to election workers. They will put them into the machine later. Really? This one right here got sent to me. It looks like a notice, an email sending out, good morning team. FYI, there is no watchers approved for ballot drop off. Do not let them in the building. If they want to observe from the parking lot, you can't stop that. but they're not allowed to sit in the building. Have your security detail enforce it. Again, let's start this off with, this is probably not true. Entertainment purposes only. Do your own research to validate everything. Oh, and hang tight. I'm also going to tell you, after everything happens, that's coming up here in just a few days, we are about to experience some crazy layoffs all over the place. Hundreds of thousands of people will lose their jobs. Gonna rattle off a whole list of names on that. Was gonna show you this one, but it just got deleted. Let me summarize the video that I watched. Basically, I'm not sure, I can't recall exactly where it was, but it was a boots on the ground type of video, and they went in there and were trying to put in their ballots, and the policemen were standing there, and they said that they weren't allowed in because they were overly worked and it closed at 4:30. So this was about they got there before 4:30 and wanted to proceed to get in line and put in their vote. Well, they were asked to leave. Here's the kicker. They closed down the line at 1:45 p.m. is what she said. And that's what he said, the police officer in this video that I watched, and stated that it was because they were overworked. They were gonna have to shut it down at 1:45 so that they could be done by 4:30. This is why I'm saying this time around is gonna get pretty crazy. Okay, only a couple other things I wanna go over. One, the states that are refusing the old you-know-what poker. And then I wanna go over a slew of companies that are planning on doing absolutely gargantuous layoffs after this whole thing is done. A lot of us were waiting for this to happen because it's already happening in other countries, and I've covered that in some other videos. But check this out, folks. Idaho Health Department, and this is coming from the Daily Beast from MSN.com. Idaho Health Department is the first to ban giving COVID-19 vaccines. And this story is by William Vaillancourt. I know you're going to want a little bit more information, so let me read just the first paragraph. A regional public health department in Idaho has outright banned the jabs. The Associated Press reported on Friday, the Southwest District of the Health Department Board, which governs 6 counties along the Idaho-Oregon border, voted 4-3 against the recommendations of the district's medical director, Dr. Perry Jensen. In quotes, our request of the board is that we would be able to carry and offer those vaccines, recognizing that we will always have these discussions about risks and benefits, Jensen said in the meeting this month. This is not a blind, everybody gets a shot approach. This is a thoughtful approach. The ban appears to be the first such instance of the U.S. governmental body blocking inoculations. The AP noted, vaxxer misinformation has been proliferated not only at the local and state levels, but also nationally by the likes of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Donald Trumpsker and transition team co-chair Howard Lutnick. And then at the bottom of the article it says, you can go to the Associated Press and read more about this. Again, this came out 23 hours ago from filming this video. Now, like I said, I'm not claiming anything, entertainment purposes only, and I am just reading a headline that was put out by the Daily Beast on MSN.com, and I'm sure if you look into this, this could be validated. So, bosses, don't shoot the messenger. Okay, now let me tell you about all these layoffs that we might be seeing coming down the pipe, which is going to affect so many people. And then right after that, let me tell you guys, I'm gonna watch this little news clip that's gonna give you guys an idea of how you can project who's gonna win the race based off of a couple states going this way or that way. That way, as things are rolling in, you know which way it's headed. Oh yeah, you guys wanted to know where I'm at. Check it out. I am actually in the big city of San Juan. You can see right here, I am pretty close to the ocean in Old San Juan, actually today. And there we go, we got the big old city back in there starting to light up. And man, did I get some really cool video of how this place is ran today. As far as power, some cool stuff that I'll be delivering down the road on some other stories. But yep, rooftop craziness, look at that, storm's coming. I better hurry before the rain comes. Better get back to this. For some of you that don't know, I get around a lot. I travel almost every single month related to other work that I do, but I'll tell you what, it's not gonna get in the way of me bringing you guys awareness. I will stay dedicated to that. For that, Give me a thumbs up, really helps out the video, and tell me something interesting down in the comments. It also helps. And if you guys find this information informative, please share. That's how we're gonna inform each other. All right, layoffs you guys might see coming down the pipe. At the Ford Rogue or Rouge plant, where more layoffs are expected on November 15th as a result of the EV mandates. They say, Happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas. I know a lot of these companies employ thousands and thousands of people, so I know it's gonna affect a lot of you out there. Here's another big one. Boeing is facing significant layoffs as a part of an ongoing restructuring effort with plans to eliminate 2,000 positions, including around 900 in Washington state. These are cuts amid the challenges in the aerospace industry and are part of Boeing's strategy to streamline operations. Next big employer, Intel. Chip giant Intel to lay off another 16,500 employees after laying off 19,000 employees just a few weeks ago to save money. How about this one? Robinson Hardware in Hudson and Farmingham going out of business October 31st after 150 years. Even Elon Musk is gonna get hit. Says Elon Musk of X reportedly hit with a wave of layoff. Engineering department faces major cuts amid uncertain future. There's more. Marathon Oil and ConocoPhillips plan a significant layoffs in Houston as part of their merger, impacting hundreds of employees. This move aims to streamline operations and cut costs. Notifications have already been sent to affected workers as the integration process begins. Here's another car one. Volkswagen. Volkswagen announces plant closing in Germany, layoffs thousands of employees, and cuts 10% pay. Already hitting breaking news on X saying U.S. layoffs jumped by 160,000 to 1.83 million and an increased 42% over the last 3 years, which shows a weak labor market. Here's another one. Dropbox is laying off approximately 20% of its global workforce, impacting around 528 employees. They're saying Jack Dorsey leaked a memo that reveals title staff mass layoffs. Here's a mega one. Visa. Visa plans to lay off around 1,400 employees and contractors by the end of the year. Around 1,000 of these cuts will target technology positions, with most remaining layoffs affecting merchant sales. Now let's get into some airlines. Spirit Airlines announces layoffs jet sales as it tries to stay afloat. Yeah, they're planning on selling about 23 Airbus jets and cut millions in costs, primarily by reduction in workforce as it scales back flight capacity. Even newspaper layoffs. The Honolulu Star-Advertiser is laying off more than a dozen workers, around about 20% cut to its newsroom. Like I said, by the looks of it, it looks like a lot of people may be losing their job after this built-up election. And in a time of Thanksgiving and Christmas, woo, you might be wanting to pick up a little side income. Now lastly, real quick, I don't follow the election, like how everything works as much as some of you, but when I watched this, even though the source I don't really, grain of salt, it helped me understand which states are gonna be the ones to watch, which states we're gonna need to watch with a very close eye on things getting really tricky. So if you're like me, let's watch this and we'll have a pretty good idea as things develop. When states get one, we'll know kind of which way it's headed.
The East Coast states, we should know by Wednesday morning. Okay. I really believe that.
Let's lay out the path to that magic number of 270. Let's start with the vice president. How does she get there?
The simplest path for her is just winning these 3 blue wall states. Gets her right to 270. We're assuming she gets the Omaha district there. This means she doesn't have to win a single state in the Sun Belt. She could lose all 4 of those other states. She sits at 270. If he wins everything else, it would put him 2 electoral votes short. So that's the simplest path. But the tricky thing is, what happens if she loses Pennsylvania? So let's go ahead and give her those 2. But she loses Pennsylvania. We give that to President Trump. If he wins Georgia, which a lot of analysts believe, he's only 1 North Carolina away, and then he's done. This is his simplest path. He just wins Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. Again, we don't even have to wait for these West Coast counts, which will take a week to find out who's president.
So if she doesn't win Pennsylvania, she's got to pick up Nevada or
So if she doesn't
Arizona?
win Pennsylvania, she's got to win either North Carolina or Georgia. Because from there, then she just needs one other these West Coast states. So I've been telling people this. North Carolina and Pennsylvania. If one of them wins them both, game over. There's really no realistic path. But if they split it, that's when we know it could be a long night, especially if they split it the way I said. So she wins North Carolina. we could be living here in Nevada, waiting and waiting and waiting. And if you remember, Nevada will take a week to count all their votes.
Well, because
we'll
they go 4 days after.
And you'll have more ballots coming in.
Yeah.
And then you're really going to be used a lot on air because this is going to be lawyers upon lawyers litigating which ballots can get fixed. Cured is the language you'll start to see, those provisional ballots. The nightmare scenario where we're just waiting for weeks, sort of the Florida of 2000, is this one, where she wins either North Carolina or Georgia, and he wins Pennsylvania. Because then it makes these two states, probably Nevada, but either one of them, with their very long mail-in process that we've been waiting for ballots, we'll be waiting here for a week.
We're playing in the land of hypotheticals right now, but there is one scenario that you talk about where this thing really turns into a little bit of madness. 269 electoral votes each. How does that happen, and what happens then?
Well, the simplest way it would happen is if Donald Trump won that Nebraska electoral vote. See here, you've got her winning all the blue wall states and winning all those Sunbelt states, but if he wins that one Omaha district, we are sitting at this 269.
As it develops. Anyway, folks, I got a lot more coming down the pipe this week. Make sure you tune in, hit that like button, share this out if you found it valuable. And as always, keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing. We'll see you on the next one.